Welcome to Movie Lounge. I'm your host, Stephen Wassung. And yeah, so last week we didn't have an episode at all. Permission, no episodes, because I've been busy with work. And I'm testing something right now to see if it can work, the mic. Let me see right quick. I'm checking live stream. But, anyways, we're going to talk about the my top comic book movies. Cool. We got mic going. Just testing a little miking. So anyway, sorry about all that. Technical difficulties a little bit. So I'm working on getting that. So yeah, again, if you want, you can comment down below, and you can have a conversation with me during this really cool. I felt like after the week, after last week, not doing an episode, just trying to think, okay, what can I talk about more, and getting people more engaged in this. So I thought, why not do a little my top, because I've been asked this a lot recently. My top favorite comic book movies, and I'll get into the Logan Noir version of that movie after. But I wanted to get into my top favorite comic movies and why they're my favorite and stuff. So it was kind of hard to put those into categories, but I'll give a reason why, and you guys can give your input on it and why I'm wrong if you think I'm wrong. These are just opinion based, not set in stone. So the first one is going to be Spider-Man 2. I thought after seeing the first Spider-Man, I was like, this is cool. This is really cool. I like it a lot. And then after seeing Spider-Man 2, I was blown away because the writing was so, and I was probably like, what, 14, 15 years old or something. But I felt like Spider-Man 2, the writing in that movie was so on top of everything of what Spider-Man is. I enjoyed it. That movie as a whole is enjoyable to watch. It is the Spider-Man right before everything went south, including Amazing Spider-Man, in my opinion. But Spider-Man 2, if you dissect it, it's such a the writing of itself is so structured well that you can't really nitpick it. And I felt like it was such a solid movie all around. The villain was good. You felt for the villain. You felt for both the antagonist and the protagonist, or whatever you call the opposite of antagonist. Can't think of it right now. Then the next movie, Iron Man. Iron Man was it. I When I went to see Iron Man, I was very skeptical. I was very like, okay, this may not work. And I saw it, and I thought this was the comic book movie that everyone should see. It was Iron Man. If Here's the thing about Iron Man and how well it was done. If you take scene by scene, take it apart, there's nothing bad about that movie. It was structured so well and so phenomenal that it felt like a true great origin story that you can watch over and over again, and you get more new things about it. And it showed more of a side of a broken man dealing with a broken family, dealing with all these things, dealing with being popular, being arrogant, and it was cool. It's one of those movies that I enjoy watching over and over again because I can I can sit back and enjoy the magic of movie making, and I felt like it was so on par with, and I'm gonna say on par with a lot of these movies that I'm gonna mention, but I felt like it was something really grand to watch, and it introduced how you can make a comic book movie funny but serious at the same time and balance those out. The next one is Logan. I have been the reason why I'm such a fan of the X-Men movies, besides Last Man or X-Men: The Last Stand, and just other terrible X-Men movies that followed, except Days of Future Past and First Class. Those were two exceptional really well ones. The reason why I was a fan of X-Men was because of Wolverine and what Hugh Jackman has done for almost what could be close to almost 20 years. The guy has put effort into respecting the character and watching Origins of Wolverines and how bad that was. I felt like, oh man, this is not going to be fun. The Wolverine was a step up, an improvement. And watching Logan, it's not. I would not consider this a comic book movie or superhero movie per se. It is a Western movie, and it pulls every emotional string possible that it can. And I'm glad that this was rated R. I was glad that Hugh Jackman could make a Wolverine movie and be respectful and pay homage to it and just say goodbye. It was a good goodbye letter to the fans, and I felt like Logan was such an impactful movie that it's in its own category that it just yeah, the whole thing. There's some parts where I'm like, okay, I can question that and stuff. It isn't perfect, but it as an emotional ride, it's fantastic, and I enjoyed it very much. The next one would be Captain America: Winter Soldier. I was never a big fan of the first Captain America. When I saw the second one, I loved it. It didn't feel like a and I feel like a lot of comic book movies are becoming they're trying to step away from comic books and being more in a different type of genre, but using the superhero comic book movie genres at the same time. And I felt Winter Soldier was a great spy movie. It was like if Jason Bourne and James Bond got together and made a movie, and this would be it. I felt like this was such. There's nothing bad about this movie. It's enjoyable. I loved it. I could watch it constantly, and it was such a great. It was a refreshment in the Marvel Studios movies, and it was a refreshing moment in comic book movies because it brought new. It showed that you can take it serious and you can make spy movies in with comic book movies, and I enjoyed it very much. I thought cat like Chris Evans did really well. I thought the whole cast was phenomenal, and it I was engulfed in it. I enjoyed it a lot. And then I got The Dark Knight. This one is I never really was a fan of it at first, and then I finally, after watching it a few times and just during film school, I started to appreciate that comic book film more, and I appreciate it more. And I would consider Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy more of a mafia mob type movie rather than a comic book movie, and that's okay. I'm totally for that. I think that's really cool, and I think that The Dark Knight was it was done to perfection. I think, and I put it up there with Iron Man. That you can't find anything bad about that movie. I'm sure you can after a few years, but watching it, it shows the dark side of who the Joker is. Joker was phenomenal. Heath Ledger was awesome. Christian Bale, awesome. The only gripe that I have is the voice. That's the only thing out of that whole entire trilogy. It's just the voice. That's it. But I can deal with it. And I felt like The Dark Knight was it showed light to what you can do with comic books, and that's how Logan can be dark. That's how Deadpool can be dark and humorous. It opened the door for comic book movies to try new things, and I felt like that's what this was doing. So that's my top list: Spider-Man 2, Iron Man, Logan, Captain America: Winter Soldier, and The Dark Knight. Let me see if I missed anything. Nope. So those are my favorite comic book movies I can watch multiple times. And it was kind of hard because my wife was like, "Well, what about Winter Soldier or what about Civil War?" I was like, I can. It's just the Avengers 1.5 or 2.5, and I there's a lot of comic book movies that I enjoy, but these are my top movies that I can enjoy more. So, and if you guys have any want to put your inputs, by all means, go for it. I'll respond to your guys' comments. So we're gonna get into Logan Noir, Noir, Nair. I can never pronounce it right. Noir. If you guys want to help me pronounce it right, put it in the comment down below. So I watched the black and white version of this movie. It's phenomenal. It's even better because, and I showed my wife, and she's like, "I don't get it. I don't get it." And she was watching some of the clips, and she says, "Oh, I can notice some more things in it. I notice it gives it another depth of you didn't really see when you see color. To me, when you watch a movie in color, it helps enhance everything. When you watch it in black and white and it's done right, like Logan is, it gives it much more depth. It tells a different story because you're not relying so much on color, so much everything going around. You're engaged in that one scene. And I felt like it played such an important character, and I would have enjoyed watching Logan Noir in theaters over the color one just because of how engaging and how it made the story so much better. So if you guys haven't seen it, I would definitely go out and own Logan and definitely get the one with the noir version on it. I do want to see the black and chrome version of Mad Max Fury Road. I watched some clips on that. So I think if you want to make, that's one thing. If you want to make a movie and you're like, ooh, I would like to make a noir version, go for it. And it you just have to do the lighting right and do everything right. I know Mad Max was made almost to do it in black and white, and Logan, it's something cool. It's if you haven't seen a noir film, go check them out. They are really cool. So, and I one more topic I'm going to throw in now, and it's about when you go see a movie and you get emotionally invested after seeing it. And I was talking to some friends, and they were pointing out, and even people that are at work that have come in, like customers, and have asked me, like, "Oh, how do you rate this movie?" Or how, or I asked for their opinion. And I've noticed something about when people rate movies right after they watch the movie, they rate it really high because they're coming off a high, pretty much, of seeing a movie. And that's why when people say, "Oh, I give it a 10," it's hard for me to see, or hard for me to believe that this movie is a 10 because you've just seen it and you're emotionally invested in it. And so that's why when you go see movies, this is more of a tip. When you go see movies and people ask you, "Hey, what do you think of it?" When you're giving your opinion, come at the standpoint of, this is what I thought the movie was and this is why I rank it this way. If people say, "Oh, it's a 10," automatically, what are you ranking that as? Why is it a 10? Is it 10 over other movies? Because there's other better movies out there that would rank higher than a certain movie. Like for me, I never rank a movie a 10, 9, or an 8 unless I'm saying this is out of this, if it's a franchise, this is how I'm ranking this movie out of this franchise. It's a 10, it means it's better than all the other movies. The reason why I never go 8, 9, or the reason why I never go above 7 is because you can't make a perfect movie pretty much. Everything is flawed when you see a movie. And if you see a movie and you rank it up around 10, that means there's nothing wrong with it and it's perfect, and there's no other movie that can amount to that. And that's why it's hard, because you can't really base it off anything. So whenever you want to rate a movie, just rate it on based on the film in that series of films or in a category. Like if I went to go see, if Braveheart came out in theaters and I saw it and I was like, ooh, and someone asked me, what do I rank it as? I'm going to rank it in the dramatic war, and pretty much in the war category because it's a war movie. So I'm going to rank it in that. So I'm never going to go higher than Saving Private Ryan. There's no way. I can never do that. But I can rank it above other war movies. And that's how I feel like ranking movies should be. It should be more based on the genre or in the franchise it's in, because then that's a much better way of establishing, okay, it's better than this movie. Cool, I might enjoy it then. If you rank it high enough, too high, then it's like, all right, I'm is this based off your emotions or is it based off of what? Like you got to make it less broad and more simple. So yeah, that was one little tidbit, because a lot of people that I've been talking to, even at when they come into work, will ask me and stuff, and I have to explain this while I'm making their coffee. I'm explaining like, why do you rank it this way? And so I give a much better not a broad, better view of like, okay, this is how you should rank a movie. And again, this is just my opinion, and other people can have different opinions. So that is today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back again this week. Sorry about the incognito of no episodes last week or the past almost 2 weeks now and stuff. Just been really busy. So if you guys want me to talk about more topics and have me be more engaged and have you guys be a part of this, let me know. See you guys tomorrow.